So here's the thing: when Solo Leveling, the anime, was announced, I did have expectations, but not such high expectations. But hey, the last episode, the episode that we had last night, it blew my mind on a few fronts. Overall, the episode wasn't a masterpiece in itself. It wasn't like the best shit we have ever seen, and it's very difficult to qualify anything as a masterpiece considering the last few episodes we had of Jujutsu Kaisen and a special season 2 episode 17 Mahoraga versus Sukuna. But hey, they did a few things in this episode that I really had to make a video about it and talk about it with you guys. And also, quick update: I'm going to have a final meeting probably with my assistant teacher, with the person that is supervising my thesis, and I will finally know what's going to happen to my thesis, if I'm going to have to do the full thingy, like finish my master's course in the next few weeks, or it's going to take longer. And depending on the result, I will probably you will probably see me working more and seeing more videos and more of the things that we have left that we wanted to actually continue on this channel. So okay, so Solo Leveling anime opening and ending. First, let's talk about that. The opening was actually cool in my opinion, and it was pretty well done visually, but the sound department, and let's say the music, didn't really click with me. But they did something pretty interesting with the ending, and you're going to see what actually they did that is, in my opinion, deserves a round of applause, and that is connecting the ending to the episode content. So when we have the main character, the MC, about to die, like absolutely butchered, we have him there. He falls on the altar and he gets even more, he's about to die. The message comes out from the system, and he has a choice to try again, continue, whatever or not. And when he says yes and accepts, we see something pretty interesting. It just transitions seamlessly and very fluid into the ending sequence, and that's amazing in my opinion, because hey, how many times have we seen a creative team doing that with the ending of an anime? With it's probably going to be the same ending for the next 10 episodes that we have of this season of Solo Leveling anime. But hey, that hasn't been done many times. Like, many of the studios don't really bother with that, but A1 Pictures, even though they fucked up near Automata, they actually were probably doing a great job on this anime. And here's the thing, this wasn't the only place that they actually decided to do some major, or let's say bring out some major creativity and some major fluidity when it comes to the episode that we're going to see. Do remember that what we are watching right now is the basis of the storyline of a character that, or let's say the humble beginnings of a E-rank hunter that is going to become the best, because of course it's a power fantasy, and we do need to have a sense of hopelessness and shit and stuff like that. So how they actually try to convey us the situation and the atmosphere and everything that is built around the sound and the visuals needs to be in service of that. They do something pretty interesting apart from the amazing voice acting and shit we get. If you do notice in the sequences that the statues are moving towards these guys and they are getting butchered and they don't know what to do, we have a kind of semi-silence when it comes to background music. But hey, look closely what happens here. Jinwoo, the main character, the MC, discovers that hey, they have to go towards the statues that have instruments and they have to stand there. And as you can see, when they go, the statues start playing, and Kota Yamamoto and Sawano, Koto Yamamoto, I'm not sure, I think he was on the production side of this anime too. They actually did something amazing, that they used elements in the story, the statues and the instruments they hold, to actually create the soundtrack. Do pay close attention. The fact that they went this way and decided to do something so creative as to use the elements in a story, in the anime, or in a manhwa, whatever, to actually create the atmosphere and make the soundtracks and shit for the anime, that's pretty amazing. Like, just look at this scene. When the MC gets to the statue, that is the singing statue, as you can see, you have a visual of the mouse and the soundtrack is finally completed. So you have an intermingling of a few aspects from inside the work to actually create the soundtrack for the anime, and that is pretty fucking amazing. And I do not remember the last time I saw that in any kind of literary work, be it and other visual work. I'm sorry, literary works are not, they probably don't have any soundtracks, but I do not remember the last time I actually saw something like that. it's kind of like using a reversal on the work on the manhwa and being like, hey, you see me and I see you and I'm going to use you for my own purposes. And these are not perverse purposes, but I'm going to make a pretty interesting soundtrack using the elements in this story that are included in the story. And that's a kind of integration between the elements and these aspects of a work that I have not seen. I do not remember anything like that, and I do think that Sawano and the whole sound direction team and the sound people, they have created a kind of, let's say, not created, they have made a masterful move. I don't know how to say it. The episode itself is not a masterpiece, but what they have done here is definitely a masterpiece, and it reeks of creativity, not in a bad way, but in a pretty amazing way that makes you have goosebumps when you realize what's actually happening. And consider what I mentioned before. What we are going to have, what we have in this section of the story, the humble beginnings of Jinwoo, our K-pop bro, is that, hey, he's a pretty honest guy, caring for his family, doing his best, but he's weak as fuck and he can't change that. And the helplessness is a strong aspect in the story. So this is exactly why this kind of sound direction is a masterpiece in itself, in what it does. And add to that the masterful voice acting that we saw, and hey, I thought it would be a pretty boring anime season, the winter 2024, but hey, Solo Leveling and Frieren are saving that. And yeah, we do have a video of Frieren coming up, just let me see what happens if our master says this, but the amount of integration between the different aspects and the amount of creativity used here makes me really happy to be able to actually watch this anime. Of course, it is not Attack on Titan, it is not Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's not going to be. Although a power fantasy of these dimensions, and it actually goes pretty well. It's a pretty good power fantasy manhwa. Deserves some attention, and I'm giving it the attention that I do think it deserves. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm not sure if the next week we are going to have videos about Solo Leveling. It depends on what happens in the episode, and considering the source material, I have read the manhwa. I do not really think we are going to see much of we are going to see an video. I do not think A1 Pictures is going to do a very terrific job either, and yeah, let's just see what happens. Thank you very much for watching, and as I say in Farsi, شبتون بخير و